Hey guys, and welcome to the glorious battlefield of Total Warhammer 2. We're going back in time today and doing the old school game, just to get a bit of a hype up for Immortal Empires, where we get to use all these glorious factions. It's Warriors of Chaos versus Bretonnia, and it is a hilarious Warriors of Chaos tactic. It's been around for quite some time, and I don't know what it is about it. I just love it. It's so dumb and beautiful at the same time. So let's delve into it. I'm actually going to keep the game paused to start with, because there's a big, fat, juicy Aspiring Champions Vanguard Rush build, and you may be thinking, what on earth is the Warriors of Chaos player doing here? Aspiring Champions, they can indeed come in with Vanguard. They've got okay stats, but only 12 men per kind of unit, and their Encourage isn't exactly going to help here with no other infantry on the battlefield. But the reason you charge these guys in is because they have such a low model count and really solid armor. Burning Head basically does not affect them. What Burning Head does affect greatly, though, is the enemy infantry, which is a load of peasants and men-at-arms. So you move up your Aspiring Champions, and then you cast a Burning Head on yourself, doing minimal damage yourself and mass damage to the enemy. It's worked against vampire camps before, and today we're going to be seeing it up against the forces of Bretonnia. I believe this is Tactical Lich, playing as the awesome Warriors of Chaos. He is a YouTuber himself, trying to take on the mighty, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, I believe it was Strat Gaming, who's leading the Bretonnian forces. We've got a load of Horse Masters, of course. It's kind of sad, but you always have to have a bucket ton of Skirmish Cavalry, of course, if you're Warriors of Chaos. But on the cool note, we do have a load of Chaos Knights with Lances in the back, which is very badass. Chaos Knights, so rock and roll on their flaming steeds, or flaming ponies, it should be said. And then we have Archaon, the ever-chosen Lord of War Destructor of all living life, coming in with, of course, Burning Head, Cascading Firecloak, Fireball, and his mighty Slayer of Kings sword. Opposing him is going to be a bucket ton of peasants, of course. Not really a Bretonnia build without a load of peasants. Mixed in are men-at-arms, including polearms. A nice defensive situation with the spears and anti-large units on the flanks. We have double Knights Realm on the left-hand side. Looks like a similar situation on the right. A handful of peasant bowmen in the middle. I believe it's 4 units. And in the Dream Team, baby, we have Foot Gotrek, Foot Felix, and Foot Fey Enchantress. A really deadly combo. We'll have to see how it does pay off. We have Dwellers Below and Earthblood as the tools of the trade today for the glorious Fey Enchantress. So the Aspiring Champions are about to clatter in to the front line. Peasants, of course, eagerly charge in. They outnumber the enemy. They have the Fey Enchantress blessing them and bellowing war cries in the back. They must feel unbeatable right now. And the Knights are rear-attacking the Aspiring Champions down here on the low ground, which of course is a quite nice start there by the Bretonnian player. But now we have all the horsemen going to be launching in, and here comes the first Burning Head down the line. All of these units are now well and truly amongst Aspiring Champions. It's almost impossible to pull out, and then 1, 2, and 3 units at least are basically done for and just breaking, trying to save their own skin. It's actually going to clip a few more units. It looks like this unit did get away relatively unscathed, but 2 units instantly break. Aspiring Champions are into the back line, decapitating peasant archers and laughing at their overconfidence from earlier. This unit a little worse wear though. Gotrek and Felix not going to be running away quite so easily from a little bit of fire. Knights of the Realm do get a bit of a cheeky charge on the Chaos Knights. Seems like they are attempting to catch up with them where possible. And on the left-hand side, Bretonnia have fared relatively okay. There's a load of Horse Masters now launching shots in, but if they're throwing their javelins at men-at-arms and spearmen, you're probably a happier Bretonnian general. Archers have been completely overwhelmed right now. We have 1 unit still firing, the others are being carved into itty-bitty pieces from the Aspiring Champions. Big blob fight is kicking off in the middle now. It looks like it's going really bad for Bretonnia. Remember, we do have their hero core, which is a rather significant portion of their build. Looks like they're actually dragging down these Chaos Knights now relatively effectively. A re-attack from the Knights of Realm with favour of the Fey popped on them is certainly going to help out. We have yet another Burning Head birthed into existence, and the skull is manically laughing as it burns flesh and metal in unison, singeing men to armor, and it's all round a bad day to be a Bretonnian warrior. It's been a bad day to be a Bretonnian peasant anyway, but particularly with a giant burning skull, it's just kind of another Tuesday for you. Looks like Knights of Realm are attempting to take down the Chaos Knight. The Lances are just absolutely going beast mode here. There's certainly something very rock and roll about them. We have Earthblood go down. It is overcast. This should hopefully enable the Knights of the Realm to actually drag down the Chaos Knight counterpart, but they're going to be doing a little bit of cycle charging, which is probably rather wise, particularly because there's so much skirmish cav launching javelin after javelin into the face of the enemy. Aspiring Champions are chasing back the men-at-arms and force them into a dangerous situation where they're going to be caught between knights and blades, which, from personal experience, you don't really want to be there. You'd rather be the one swinging at the blade than the trapped kind of peasant amongst the mighty warriors. Peasant Bowmen have rallied. It looks like they're not going to get a chance to fight back, though. Beautiful play here, coming by the Chaos player, lowering those lances and just rear attacking into the enemy archers, really trying to snuff out any attempt at a revival from the Bretonnian ground forces. Again, though, their hero core is still incredibly tanky in general. A lot of the ammunition is currently being wasted into polearms and other such units. Knights of Realm are taking significant damage. Gotrek is just eagerly waiting to get his axe red with the blood of Chaos filth. And Fey Enchantress plus Felix running in. They're going to help out. Aspiring Champions have done their job, though. There's a couple of healthy units still, and they're so balanced. Look how daunting they are. They tower over the opposition, swinging their blades with a rather worrying speed for units so large, and the peasants simply cannot stand up against their might. We do have archers and polearms coming back into the main fight. Looks like a bit of a rallying cry from the Fey Enchantress is getting the men's blood boiling once more. Looking for a scrap. Horsemasters are just raining in shots now from the flanks. It looks like Knights around looking just to shut them down or at least distract the enemy. Peasant archers doing a solid job as well, peppering the enemy skirmish cavalry where possible. Men-at-arms are charging into Chaos Knights. That's going to go one way, and it's definitely in the favour of the Chaos Knights. Spearmen and archers being forced off here. It looks like there's some rather brave Knights of Realm attempting to save the peasants. And if there's anything I've learned as my years as a Bretonnian Lord, it's you never save the peasants, you abandon them to die. And it looks like the Knights of Realm are learning that lesson the hard way, being just absolutely slammed in the arse by Chaos Knights. And the peasant archers are being now run over and trodden under hoof of evil, maniacal horsemen. Peasants continue to fire rather bravely here into the Horsemasters, despite the fact they know doom is upon them. The morale will soon break, though, and the Knights, with their lances lowered, could do a bucket ton of damage. Looks like they're going to let the Horsemasters have the fun, though. They need to sate their bloodlust equally, and the Peasant Bowmen are forced back. Bandspout is still pretty much dead even, though. That's because Felix, Gotrek, and the Fey Enchantress are all incredibly healthy still in the middle, and that is a large portion of their build. Aspiring Champions have just been, bam, absolutely slapped across the face. Gotrek and Felix fighting like the old times back to back, doing a glorious job here, and they've probably been hired as mercenaries to help protect the Fey Enchantress, and they look like they may well and truly be up to the task. Looks like we get an Earthblood go down on some Knights of the Realm. Probably a bit of a waste there. I think I would have kept that for when my hero score gets a little bit low. Are the Knights of the Realm going to be that effective? I mean, maybe it's a good decision. They have been able to force back the Chaos Knights. They could certainly counter some of the Horsemasters relatively effectively. A fireball does come swooping in. Fey Enchantress gets a hit on the bum, unfortunately for her. But she has like a disgusting amount of magic resistance, I'm pretty sure. 25%. Okay, not as crazy as I thought it was. But still, it's not going to be too much damage for her. She's able to get back up, dust herself down, and hopefully form once again into the glorious blob of Bretonnian troops. The Knights are just forcing back the Horsemen, taking those shots, and it looks like they're actually going to be used to finish off at some of the enemy infantry. Horsemasters may be going to countercharge here. No, they're going to let their men die, as the Aspiring Champions do get put down, but they will be trying to avenge them with those javelins coming in, doing some solid damage to the Knights of the Realm, who are down to about 1,000 HP. Only 13 models, though, so those guys are pretty souped up still. Horsemen are now going to clatter into a lot of the infantry, attempting to break them around. There's a ferocious return charge, though. The Knights of the Realm will not go into the night without a bit of a scrap, charging in, soaked with the blood of friend and foe. Really impressed that unit, kind of continuing to fight on, and the Horsemasters are being pushed back. They attempt to countercharge, but it's a weak and feeble attempt compared to the might of the Bretonnian warlords here, and they are receiving a bit of an Earthblood, maybe a tad bit too late though. Only 10 models left, still fighting though bravely, and they are able to take down the Horsemasters. A beautiful burning head though, man. That spell is so powerful. I think it's significantly worse in Warhammer 3. Maybe that's due to the larger unit size, I'm not sure, but it seems to have a lot less value there. But in Warhammer 2, it still is king. That's going to be enough to break off the peasant mobs, men-at-arms, and pretty much finish off the Knights of the Realm, who have had enough javelins to the face, enough heroics. And it is just the 3 heroes remaining for Bretonnia, but they're really, honestly, not out of this scrap whatsoever. The main problem for them is Archaon the Everchosen. Anything else will be dragged down by a mixture of Felix and Gotrek, as well as, of course, the Fey Enchantress, just draining the enemy life force and gobbling up for herself. Knights will be charging 40 models there, and it looks like they're going to be kites around a little bit, just trying to get the value from the javelins, which makes sense. They now do engage with the enemy. Of course, Fey Enchantress is going to come in with a well-timed Earthblood. Oh no, it was cancelled because she got forced over. And Slayer of Kings is popped, so this is the hour. This is the moment. Archaon needs to decapitate the Fey Enchantress as swiftly as possible while he has all these boons popped. Otherwise, she's going to be able to heal up Gotrek and Felix significantly. A big fat Dwellers below goes down. That is going to be the end of the Chaos Knights or Lancers, as well as these basic Knights. But the Fey Enchantress is really suffering under the tyrannical rule and grip of Archaon. It looks like we're going to get a Comet come down as well. Probably a little bit overkill, as the Chaos Knights are already retreating and running. So I don't think that's going to do basically any damage. But still, it looks cool. And hey, that's what I'm all about here. So like, if she popped it now on the Horseman, it would have been a bit better. But they're relatively swift, and the Chaos player has certainly got some fantastic micros. We've seen it all day long, so he probably would have dodged it relatively easily. The Enchantress has been broken, which is a real shame for the Bretonnian forces. She's still got a load of fight left in her, about a quarter of her HP. And that drain effect going off the battlefield is going to be quite problematic, as well as losing those big, fat, juicy heals. She went down with scrap, though. I love that Dwellers below play. And now Felix and Gotrek, Helping Hand's been popped. Gotrek Doom's been popped. Faye has been completely shattered. Likewise, the Horsemasters may indeed be going down here. Now, the main thing the Warriors of Chaos player needs to do, kill Felix. Like, kill him as quickly as possible. He's helping out Gotrek, he's buffing him, he's giving him little rubs on the head and letting him know everything's going to be okay, and you can't have that. So you got to kill Felix as quickly as possible using Archaon, and then you go for Gotrek when he's isolated and alone, because obviously he's unbreakable and can't break, because Felix is but a manling, though. Very brave manling. Look at this sight. Gotrek just headbutts Archaon's horse, and Archaon runs away. Flee, you cowardly mortal, before the might of the Slayer, the one true Slayer. And the ground is littered with his enemies so far. Another 2 horsemen added to the ranks of dead from the hand of Gotrek. Though there are some pesky throwing axes, or javelins I should say, coming in to do some pretty nice damage to Gotrek there. And he's trying his best, though. He's taking significant damage at the moment. Felix is by his side, and they're doing a nice little bit of a juking, kind of darting around the javelins as more horsemen come in. Archaon is a powerhouse, though, and if he saved up Slayer of Kings, he can take Felix's head from his shoulders incredibly quickly. And it looks like he is coming in with Stand or Die, as well as Cascade and Fire Cloak, so he's going to be a troublesome little fella. Gotrek should still be targeting him down, and Felix killing the horseman, most likely, would be the best way to play this. Unfortunately, they've been separated here. Gotrek not swift enough to get back to help his friend, and look at that, half HP, and he breaks. It's a sad day to be a manling and a Bretonnian for Sean. Felix is going to have to go it alone. Slayer of Kings is now active, though, and though he is not technically the Slayer King, he's the king of our hearts, Gotrek, so the fact Archaon has this Slayer of him isn't going to help him too much at all. He does get the healing proc, but it seems like he was already dead when it popped, and, you know, healing someone who's dead's a little bit rude, and honestly, he's not a big fan of necromancy, so understandable he doesn't want to come back from the dead. Well played to the Tactical Lich, though. Really awesome game from him for representing a Clan BBB there. And a Strike game as well. We've had both these guys on the channel before, 2 experienced lads. And a really awesome game. Thank you, Mr. Lich, for sending this one in. And once again, I believe Tactical Lich does indeed have a YouTube channel, so make sure to go check him out. You can find him often posts on my promotion section on my Discord. So yeah, feel free to check him out. Well played, though. Awesome game. Big fan of the Gotrek pick here. I always love to see Gotrek. And I feel like if you bring one, you have to bring the other. Technically, in some matchups, it's better just to bring Felix or just Gotrek, but come on, for story purposes, you need to see them both. They did some solid damage indeed. Very awesome Warriors of Chaos build, just shy of 3.4k value on Archaon the Everchosen, 182 kills. Really lovely stuff. Now, the Aspiring Champions do not pay for themselves. They almost never do, but they're able to bunch up the enemy and allow those burning heads to become really devastating stuff. And then your Knights and your Javelins are the ones which actually get the value done. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to leave a big, fat, juicy thumbs up, as well as subscribing to the channel if you're new around here. We recently hit 10,000 subscribers, which is awesome. So, thank you guys so much. It's kind of crazy. We've had like 3.5 million views on the channel now. It's really awesome stuff. So, massive thank you guys for tuning in and supporting. If you want to support more, feel free to leave a comment down below. There are links to my Patreon as well. You can also become a member here on YouTube. And a massive shout out to my Patreons and YouTube members. They're the ones who are basically allowing me to keep putting out content, so they're the true heroes of the channel. And there's no links in the description to Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. Until next time, guys, peace, and as always, stay awesome.